Hello and welcome to that Peter Crouch podcast with me, Peter Crouch, Notorious SID and Chris Stark with me, as usual. Regards to your families, boys. I should just get to the bottom of this straight away. If you hear this noise,
that's to yours.
On the audio, for some reason we've all got a little cognac today. No reason whatsoever, other than the fact that there was one in the office and we fancied it.
Well, it's not just us, is it? Everyone else.
Well, all the backroom team.
Regards to your families.
Regards to your families.
Regards to your families.
Regards to your families.
Good health,
everyone.
Regards to your families.
So, how's your week been going?
Do you practice that? You know, when you cheers someone, do you look them dead in the eyes?
Oh, yeah.
And do you judge someone who doesn't do that?
Well, if you don't, it's bad sex, isn't it?
Is that what it is?
Bad sex?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what it is?
Have you not heard that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's brutal. Like, if you cheers people now and they go the old, serious one,
really?
It's because they know it and obviously you don't.
Yeah.
But apparently, if you do it, it's however many years bad sex.
Like
for
a
who?
mirror.
For you or your lover?
Well, let's hope it's for neither of you.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, because that's true. You could just be shit at it all of a sudden.
That's what I mean. You could be, well, yeah, I guess the curse goes on yourself, doesn't it?
Yeah. And then ventures onto the other person.
By proxy, because let's face it, if you're not having a good time, they're not.
Yeah, definitely not. So, always look in the eye.
Wow.
Well, that's a lesson right off the traps there for everyone listening.
It is, yeah. Yeah, almost like a mirror.
I'd say that's more common than what you think.
Really?
I think a lot of people would know that.
I didn't know that. I genuinely didn't know that. I think I might have heard it once before, maybe forgotten it though.
You guys? No, never heard that?
Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You got to look them dead in the eyes. I often thought that was just one of them power plays, you know, a bit like if you shake someone's hand and they either go over top, a bit like Big Duncan.
Yeah.
Big Dunk, when he was on the podcast, he sort of crushed my hand. But then there was an old agent of mine who I think did it on purpose, but had a really limp, almost wet handshake. But it really put you off your stride, you know. But I thought it was quite a clever move from him. But I didn't know what he was trying to achieve from it.
It's a red flag for me. That.
Well, I agree.
A wet handshake.
It was
a weird one. Isn't
it was limp, Crouchy. It was like if a manager, you went into a manager's office, right? No different this scenario. I'd walk in and he'd just put his hand out and almost grab the end of your fingers.
Well, there's nothing worse than that. That's no good, is it?
I reckon there'll be people listening to this who work in sort of similar areas to mine who will know this. He was kind of notorious for it. What was going on there is my question.
But at work day, it put you off your stride.
Well, yeah, he sort of did, because immediately then he'd put you on a small couch in front of you. Like, so he'd be in the chair and then you'd be on the sofa and you're thinking about the limp handshake. And sometimes he'd light up a smoke. And it was just, a whole series of events.
Wow,
that's
a lot.
What's going on?
There's a lot to go out there, isn't there? There's a lot to go out there.
Sorry, mate. But I sometimes wonder if that's what it was like for you going to the manager's office, the little power plays, you know, that might be...
Well, if I'm thinking about it there, right, the way you'd normally take it is he's a weak man. Do you know what I mean? But what if he's playing it like he's giving you the weak handshake because you're not even worthy of a proper one? Do you know what I mean? So he's double power played you.
I think that's what it was.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, get on that little seat, have a shitty handshake. Do you know what I mean? And now I'm going to have a Benson in front of you.
That's what it was.
It's an absolute no respect move. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if someone came in, do you know what I mean? Where you're worthy of a handshake.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like a big power play move.
I think you'd have to call them out. I think you have to go, no, that wasn't, you need to come here again and do that. Like, show them, you need to impose your authority.
I've never been alpha enough to challenge another man on that sort of thing.
Do you know what's like, obviously the common procedure now, I think of lads of a certain age, is very much a high thing and a bring the shoulder in together, almost like for a hug. It's very much the done thing now rather than traditional handshake now. Yeah. But what I get now is that I do that with everyone. And but for instance, I met Harry Redknapp recently and I did that and he knew to do that.
Oh, really? So he's moved with the times.
So he gave me a high five, like one of those high fives, and brought it in. You know how you do the hug after, or like sometimes it's just a shoulder bump, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
but that's what I wonder with those.
So I'm saying he's moved on from a handshake. Him and Bobby Moore weren't doing that.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No. But isn't it interesting that it was never a thing? Because you think that it's not new technology, is it? It's not really a radical idea to just come at it from a different angle with the handshake. But yet, I don't think there's any record of, say, Henry VIII doing it back in the day. In no historical reenactment do they ever come in and go like, like a bring it in, bro.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
one of those ones.
Which is wild, because how's it taken thousands of years for someone to think of doing that? And this blows my mind after a couple of cognacs. We're living in the time where humans have evolved to do that. I mean, that's huge.
What do you mean?
Well, what I'm saying is, if we're saying Henry VIII didn't do it, and Harry Redknapp didn't do it, we are right at the point of evolution where humans have decided to greet each other in a different way.
Yeah.
We probably used to sniff each other's asses back in the day. And now look
where we are now. It's so true. Yeah.
We're right on the forefront of it, Steve.
I'm happy being where we are.
Yeah. Do you know what? I felt like we went back a few steps though during COVID, really, because the kissing kind of went out of fashion now. And people are a bit nervous about going in for the kiss straight away, which I'm glad about, really, because I don't like kissing strangers.
Yeah, but what about the
sometimes
spud? What about What about the spud? What about the fist pump?
Fist pump.
Yeah, but what about are we still greeting? Not that we would do it, but do you still see people now that give you the fist pump now?
Yeah, but do you remember during COVID that was you were told to fist pump?
Yeah, I know, but some people are carrying that on.
Makes sense.
Are you a fan?
I don't mind it. I prefer that than kissing and hugging. Don't want to kiss and hug everyone, do you?
Depends how they are. Depends what they look like.
I think if you need to be, part of you need to be closer.
It's personal space.
Not a first time.
I think context is everything. If you're at the French embassy or something, receiving some sort of award, 3 kisses, even so, is lovely.
Makes sense,
doesn't it?
It
feels like the right thing to do.
It's weird. Even like dinner is a kiss or a double kiss maybe, but like a breakfast meeting, no kisses.
What I hate
do you know what I mean?
than
Like
anything.
it's like as the day evolves, it's more of a kissing situation. Do you know what I mean?
We will move on to the football.
So I've just got to say this. This reminds me of something that happened years ago. So, where we used to live, there used to be like a coffee shop, and like when the sun was out, it was lovely. Everyone used to sit outside. It used to be quite busy, and there used to be this one fella that used to be quite known to everyone, which was like the local man, and was like a nice fella. And he always used to know everyone's business, and we used to know everyone. And so I remember pulling up in my car once, and he looked kind of Italian, right? And I'd just moved into the area, and he made a beeline for me, and I'd never met him before. And he was like, "Hello, Steve, how you doing?" And he put his arm out, and he he shook my hand, and he pulled me in, and he gave me a double kiss on both sides in front of everyone.
Continental.
In front of everyone, local, and I was like, "Who is this man?"
Yeah,
he put it right on me.
Yeah,
that's when I first started.
Confident man.
Yeah.
When David Beckham went to Real Madrid, and when he was doing the double kisses as a substitution.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But did you have players in your team where you would? So whereas you'd go up and celebrate a goal with a French player, were you greeting them at the training ground? With
no, see, they wouldn't do that. But I think like when you're over there, like I saw other French players and other Spanish players kissing each other, but they wouldn't do it to me, for instance.
Yeah, I think you're right though, Pete. COVID did away with a lot of that, didn't it? But it's
it did.
Okay.
Well, anyway, you know what, guys? Sometimes we always like to have a reset on the podcast.
Yep.
And we have lots of various topics. We have great guests. We've had some belters recently, haven't we? And we've
Really
got some crackers coming up.
Really good.
Oh my God, one of them in particular. This isn't announced yet or anything.
Well, no,
one of them is.
I mean, it's big.
I feel like occasionally a little trailer goes out on the podcast socials for a
Do you think
guest.
it's worthy of a trailer?
100%, mate. This is potential. I'm thinking, God, how many episodes? I'm saying this is potential top three guests.
I genuinely think it's up there when we went to the Palace.
Yeah,
Because it's an away day for us. It won't be in the Chumbawamba.
No.
People like this don't travel. You know what I mean? You come to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we've moved things, haven't we?
We're moving heaven and earth.
Yeah.
And that only happens. Listen, we've had Elton John on, we've had Prince William on, we've had some fantastic football.
we can't give away who it is.
No.
But what I'm saying is,
How are we going to get there? Are we carring, planing, or are we sailing? Which?
Well, me and Sid's are on a golf trip. We're coming back especially from a golf trip.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we are. Well,
So we're
Pete was going
flying.
to come back. I wasn't going to come back. I was like, he's all right. Leave it. No chance. I was always coming back.
Oh,
So yeah,
you're right.
So what I'm saying is, anyway, stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, we have great guests. You know, we've done great topics, but sometimes we need a reset, and we're inundated with messages. So today's episode is a messages episode.
Great.
Nice.
Great.
Should we get into it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, lads, I'll go first. Hi, Crouchy, Bonfire and Barbecue C. Regards to your families, just listening to your Championship Playoffs pod and was thinking what your thoughts would be on having a relegation equivalent. Having Ipswich, West Ham, Tottenham and Man United playoff to stay in the league would be unbelievable, in my opinion. Keep up the great work, Jack.
I mean, he's a visionary.
This is amazing.
I mean, that's done. How's this not a thing?
But are you roping in 4 teams from the 3rd place and 3 teams above that? So
Well, you've got to keep-
so the
you've-
3rd from bottom would play the top of that group, and then the 2 would
in
play
the
each
middle.
other. Then you'd have a final.
Bottom 2 get relegated.
Yeah.
Surely you do it like
So
the
you got
league,
the bottom
right?
2 get
Yeah,
relegated, but
and then
there's a
the 4 up.
1-place playoff,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only one place to play for.
and it goes to the top. So the bottom, just above the top 2. So 3rd from bottom, 4th from bottom, 5th from bottom, 6th from bottom.
Exactly. So 4 places, exactly the same as the playoffs at the top, but playoffs at the bottom.
Amazing.
That immediately
Oh,
makes the
wow.
Championship undoubtedly the best league in the world.
It
But
would.
what about that game? That Championship relegation game?
And where do you host it? At Wembley? Because
No, I think it's got to be somewhere else. Let's do it somewhere else.
The
I think we
only thing that worries me with that is that both teams wouldn't want to lose it. So
Yeah.
where does that make the game? Does it
No,
make
but
it?
it's jeopardy, Sid, isn't it?
I know,
the
but do you-
jeopardy of it.
Oh,
What do you mean?
listen-
Neither of them can afford to lose.
That's
it.
what I'm saying. So it doesn't make it really an entertaining game.
Why?
Well, because neither of them are going to want to lose a game, so they're just going to be really defensive.
But they have to win the game to get through.
Yeah,
It's
I
going
know
to
that.
penalties at the end of it.
Yeah, no, listen, I think it's a great idea. The only thing that worries me is that teams would just
Too
be
much-
caught.
just
It'd be
too
like a
much to
cup
lose.
final. They'd be like, I'd rather lose it on penalties than go all out and lose it in 90 minutes.
But if you have a bad season, like you say, like there's 3 teams came up this year, 3 teams go down, right? If you have a bad season and you are a West Ham, a Tottenham, or a Man United,
Yeah.
you know you're comfortable. There's 3 teams much worse than you, but in a one-off game,
Yeah.
that's where you
Yeah.
could have the jeopardy of it.
is
It'd be
brilliant.
unbelievable.
So
It is brilliant.
exciting.
Has that never been... That's the first I've ever heard of an idea like that. How good is that?
I think that is and not just quite often on this podcast we have a laugh and a joke, right?
Yeah.
I genuinely think that would be a fantastic idea.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just think like if you think about the end of season games now, can you imagine the drama still now we'd have left?
But, going back to the previous point, where do you host it? Because that is a bizarre one, because you're not going up to the Royal Box to stay. Basically, you're going down and one team's surviving. But you're not going up to the Royal Box to get a trophy for surviving. Or do you have a trophy for the bottom of the playoffs?
No, you can't do it. You can't.
I don't think you can.
And what
can't
player is
see, you
lifting
can't.
that?
You can't win.
No.
You can't
No,
win.
you
that,
can't.
Can you? I
No.
think everyone's just got to go home straight after.
There's something I love about it. That how do you deal with that? Like, this stadium's got to host it. You've got the most negative atmosphere of all time.
Their
All
players-
the press around it.
very,
and everything.
very
Would you
interesting,
do
though.
a 2-legged affair? Just have it home and away, and that's it.
But then you'd lose in the playoffs.
Well, then the
bit
one
to it, aren't
one
you?
final.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Look, how do you
it's
have home
tough.
and away, and then you'd have the final, which
Final.
would be a one-off game.
Yeah, but you don't know where.
I think you should be at a stadium closest for both sets of fans to get away as quickly as possible. like you say.
Just get away and concentrate on the
that's
next.
how it's decided.
And as the players, they walk up the stand, instead of lifting something, there's a mirror. They've got to walk past each and look at it and have a look at themselves and then walk back down again.
It's genius.
It's genius.
Jack is genius. Brilliant.
I just don't. What Jack stumbled upon there is the classic carrot versus stick argument as well, because instead of rewarding a football team with a trophy, which is how we've always done it, essentially you're punishing a team by relegation, and that is fascinating. And it's how you mark that at the end of the game. I mean, it almost there needs to be a kind of quite brutal representation of it as well. So they get their badges torn off their shirts.
Oh, right.
Do you see what I mean? They have to hand in their badges like that. There needs to be a ceremony of some sorts. There'll be more a ceremony of shame.
Punishment.
Stripped of the badge.
I know what you mean, because you can't get a trophy for it, can you?
No.
Really interesting point, though.
Okay.
Or, just very quickly, you do go up to the royal box, but instead of being presented with a medal, you get a slap round the face. or a dignitary throws a cabbage at you or something.
Shamed through the streets.
Shamed through the royal box with the shame bell, like Game of Thrones. Shame. Hannah Waddingham leads them through the royal box. All good ideas. All right, Jack. Well done. That's brilliant.
Get in touch, Premier League, if you feel like it.
Now, would you like another email?
Yes, please.
Dear Peter, Bonfire and One Nut, regards to your families. I mean, he's not wrong, is he?
Oh, unbelievable. Didn't take long, did it?
Regards to your families.
It's understandable. Can't help but feel a local resident has raised the game on the turf wars discussion from the past few weeks. Whilst covering my lad's paper round, this is always a dad thing, by the way, isn't it? Having to cover.
Yeah, my dad used to do it for me.
Yeah.
Whilst covering my lad's paper round, brackets after he broke his arm in the last game of the season, I stumbled upon this sensational piece of housery en route. Not content with a mow, a decision has been made here to extend the petulance to the pressure washer. The rich and famous can keep their red carpets. I'll take a clean entrance every day of the week. Keep up the great work. Chris, superb work on raising awareness. One further suggestion for the 1-ball-11 from the other week. Assistant manager has to be Mike Phelan. Have a good one, lads. From Craig.
Wow. Mike Phelan. Oh my God. That is a good one, that.
He was a good assistant as well.
Assistant manager
Brilliant.
as well. Nailed on.
So this is the picture, is it?
So he pressure washes his entrance.
Yeah, and he leaves the other one.
That's great.
I do get, but the thing is, I'm a big fan of a pressure washer. They are good. Like when it's a nice feeling when you see that dirt lift.
The thing is,
it is. It's just something nice about it, isn't there?
Yeah,
do you know what I
it's
mean?
addictive.
It is addictive because you see it instantly get better.
that picture takes a lot of dedication just to stick to your bit, because you can get so tempted to go, I can do a bit more and do a bit more, but
what we're seeing here is his entrance is just like that, but then there's a couple of entrances off it, which he hasn't done.
Stayed strong,
Neat,
strong-minded,
isn't it? To the grass, he's managed to get that pressure washer.
Very neat, yeah.
They're great. When you use your pressure washer, what have you got? Have you got a Kershaw?
Kershaw, yeah. There's only one. There is only one.
Unless another brand.
I'm sure there are other brands out there. That
Must be, but I can't name you one.
No.
Isn't that something that you have to say after you've said it usually? We don't give a fuck on this podcast. Say what you like.
So you've got to be so precise with it. When you do use a pressure washer, what's the first thing you write into it? Do you do your name?
I think I've drawn a penis. I've never wrote any words.
That's probably the go-to.
It's just so easy, isn't it? It's just up and down and a little bit across.
I'll tell you where else a jet of water is pleasurable. And I think about this all the time. No, I think about this all the time, right? So I've just put an offer in a new house. And I've got it in my head. The first thing I'm going to do is buy a Japanese toilet.
Yeah, they're all good.
Have you got one?
The heated seat.
You haven't got one?
The bidet.
No, you played in the Premier League and you haven't got a Toto.
You've been on one of those, haven't you?
Yeah. I think like every now and again is it's a nice surprise.
Yeah, I don't know. My only issue is I feel like it might breed germ. In heat, germs breed. Right?
Yeah.
I just think if it's cold, I think there'll be less germs on it. I just worry about who sat on it and enjoyed it before me.
Yeah, but if you own it, it'll just be you or your wife, I assume.
Yeah.
So would you have one then? First thing.
Are you joking? 100%. I'm going to spend all my podcast money on it. All of it. It's honestly, I said to my wife, we can get a new house, but I'm getting a toilet. It's going to be awesome. The thing heats up.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying it.
No, yeah, amazing.
It's aspirational stuff.
And especially if you go reverse cowgirl as well, you can.
Yeah.
Mate.
You can heat everything up.
The whole, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Well, if you go reverse cowgirl on a Toto, it's tickling your balls. Or ball.
We went to Vegas once years and years ago, and I took my mate, and they had him in this hotel.
Where are we going with this now?
No. This hotel, we had like a twin room. It was like you had your own room, there was another room, and there was like a communal room in the middle. You had your own ensuite. So I'd been to this hotel before, and I had to my mate, just go into the toilet and just try the loo out. And even there, I was, whoa!
Yeah.
This is incredible.
What was happening? What was happening there?
No, he just
a load of water and stuff,
just
or
pushing
just stuff going
a whole
on?
lot.
Loads going on.
He was
there.
pushing every button going.
I'm amazed neither of you have one. I would have thought all footballers.
Yeah.
I just would have assumed.
I don't know. It's just not really on my to-do list, but yeah, it's something that I need to look into. Definitely.
I'll let you know. I don't know what the deal is with it. I don't know how they differ in standard, but I'll find a good one and let you know.
Yeah, let us know.
Okay, dear Crouchy, Sids, and the Baller. With regards to you and your families, I'm reaching out with something I reckon you'll be well up for getting on board and getting behind. I run a football club in Shepherd's Bush, just a couple of minutes from Latimer Road Station called Man v Fat Kensington. It's part of a nationwide league for blokes who want to lose a bit of weight and enjoy playing football again. Here's how it works. We play every Saturday from 10 to 11:30 a.m. Before kickoff, the lads jump on the scales, and any weight lost that week adds goals to their team's final score.
Love this.
It's genius, proper motivational,
that's good.
solid banter, and the most supportive group of teammates you'll ever find. We've had a few dropouts recently, and are trying to boost the numbers. So I thought, what better place to spread the word than on the pod? We'd absolutely love if you get behind us and give us a shout out. And if any of you ever fancy popping down one weekend, the invite is wide open. Would be a pleasure to have you. Oh my God, this is brilliant. In true pod spirit and with a nod to the weekly 11, here are some of the best team names we've had over the years. Okay, we've got Bayern Brew, Big and Athletic,
Big and Athletic,
Wigan and Biggin, Bolton Wobblers, Chicago Town, Cholesterol Palace, Diabetico Madrid.
Oh, that's top tier, isn't it?
El Fat Frankfurt.
Oh my God! Wow, this one.
S-Bag Bowl.
X-Bag Bowl.
Fazio.
Oh my God!
Friar Galatasaray.
Oh my God!
And Gluten Town. This is
my
brilliant.
God, Gluten Town.
If anyone's not near Shepherd's Bush, Man v Fat runs all over the UK. Just give it a Google to find your nearest club. It's a cracking way to get back into football, meet good people, and shift some timber along the way. Cheers, lads. Josh.
That's so good.
I think that's one of the best emails I think we've ever had. That is phenomenal. And you know what? Sometimes with the larger gentlemen, they don't feel comfortable getting involved in playing football.
Yeah.
You know, and like that, for instance, they've got themselves a league, losing weight, having a laugh doing it, obviously not taking themselves too seriously with the names. What an incredible idea.
But the idea it adds to the goals in the league as well is genius.
That is motivational, isn't it?
Well, it's hard. It is hard to lose weight. It's actually really difficult, especially if you're into football and you haven't got you're at the gym every day or doing training every day and stuff like that.
Oh, it's brilliant.
It's such a good idea.
The names.
It's so good.
But the motivation, even just the idea that it adds up to goals, would be enough to be constantly on your brain.
Yeah, because you
constantly think of it. For
also, I suppose, like also if you put on weight or something, it should punish you. And I know that's probably shaming a little bit, but like it just keeps it in your mind all the time. You know, like you think I should have them biscuits.
Yeah, but if you do,
it might cost my team.
Or you eat as much biscuits or cake as you want, but then you better score a hat trick at the weekend.
Play well.
Like you better play well.
Yeah,
it's genius.
It's class.
I've never heard of that.
What was your favourite one there? Because there's some belters. Fryer Leverkusen's up there.
Big and Athletic.
Big and Athletic.
That was good.
I mean, Espag Bowl.
Espag Bowl is just genius on Fryer Leverkusen.
Honestly,
class. Very good.
Well, thanks for your email, Josh. That was an absolute belter. Okay, moving on. Hey guys, just wanted to write in regarding these ballers, which I am really not a fan of, to be honest. Apart from Ronaldinho, the ultimate baller, they all seem all style and no substance. My question is, why is it so many of these so-called techers players don't make it in the actual game? First player that springs to mind is Jeremy Lynch. What is it that is lacking with these so-called ballers that lets them down compared to the pros that make it? Is it arrogance, lack of true commitment, slight fancy dance maybe? I'd love to know your perspective and thoughts, something to ponder. Regards to your family's Pancake Tommy.
I do wonder this sometimes because you see these amazing clips, right? And you see it all play out on social and YouTube. And you do think like they must be like, what standard are they if they do play, and what stops them?
Do you know what? I think there's a number of reasons behind this. I think a few of them probably just the journey just didn't happen because there's fine lines in there that we know so many players. We've said it before. Our own youth teams that we've played at, some of the most talented players just didn't make it for whatever reason, because it is fine lines. So I think it's some of them it just didn't happen, right? And then they thought, what else can I do? I want to still do something with football, and they just fell into that sort of freestyler YouTube sort of thing.
Yeah, but if they're getting millions of views, right? It's not like they haven't been seen or people aren't rating them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Where they've been unlucky? Really?
Yeah, they just been. Yeah, but when it comes to games, like they haven't just it's down to them where they just couldn't perform, like in trials or games or standout games, and they just, for whatever reason, in the big game moments or the big time moments, it just didn't happen for them. And then it's fine lines. If you don't, then you find yourself down the pecking order, and if you don't do it again, you just it's a sort of a downward spiral, isn't it?
There are so many good players out there that haven't made it, and when you see them, sometimes even myself, like me and you, would say, I don't know how he hasn't made it. But then there are players that are good in situations where, in regards to skills and looking good for a camera, maybe, and there are those types of players, as he called it, the fancy dans, who are very good at tricks, and you think, oh my god, he can do things that, say, Roy Keane couldn't do. Do you know what I mean? But you go, put Roy Keane in a game situation, he eats him up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think there's two different things. There's an 11-a-side sport, and then there's a 5-a-side freestyler sport. They're just completely different things.
Well, fundamentally, most of these people that you see on social media or YouTube doing this thing are one player doing skills, right? You're not seeing them in the context of any game.
Of a team sport. Yeah. And also, there's a 5-a-side players. Like there's 11, there's professional footballers who played at the top level that I think if 5-a-side football was as big as 11-a-side football, they'd be the best in the world. And I'm talking about Aaron Lennon and Jermaine Defoe, and I've mentioned this before. Unplayable in a small-sided game situation, and still very incredibly effective on an 11-a-side pitch, but unplayable on a 5-a-side pitch. You know what I mean? And I think, as good as they were, and like top class players, I would put them in elite level, like Ronaldinho level of 5-a-side. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas me, for instance, I still feel like I'm comfortable in a 5-a-side environment, definitely, but I think my powers, and I think Sid, you'd be pretty similar maybe, that I think what we were good at would be more suited to an 11-a-side game.
Yeah. I played a charity game, and Jeremy Lynch played in this charity game, and he during the game he popped it through someone's legs, as he was going around him, the fella just cleaned him out. He was just to say, like, no one's doing that to me. And it was the team. What's the team over in Essex that Jamie O'Hara played for? And Billericay, that was it. It was a charity game over there, and he was fuming. This player, he actually played for them, and he was like, "Me and you after the game, you wait,
don't take the piss out of me."
Wow, I've never seen someone get changed quick and get in their car and go. Like Jamie was like, I'm not down for this.
You know, there's a lad, right, who grew up in my local area. He played for England futsal team, but I remember he was around like our school. He was a little bit younger than me, and everyone was talking about him as a kid. Like it was like ridiculous. But yeah, it was weird. I think he ended up. He played for Wimbledon. I think he might have played for Wimbledon, but he ended up going to futsal and being. He ended up representing England at futsal. But if you like, you know, when they say the streets never forget, so in my local area, everyone will talk about him, and like all my pals are like, he was better than you.
Yeah,
you know
isn't that mad? Isn't it?
No, because you don't like. We love watching players like that with the ability, and you know they for some reason it just doesn't work, and I think, but. If you're from that area, like you would have had it, Sid, like growing up South London, right? Same with me, you know, I watch players and I think, he's the best player in the world. Yeah. And then they just don't, and you'd never hear of them again. Yeah. But then the one player you did hear about was Joe Cole, right? Yeah. And he was the kind of one, like, you know, a street player, if you like. And obviously he had the career to back it up. But there's so many of those players out there, you see them in a five-side situation like, he's the best player I've ever seen. Yeah. And you don't hear of them again.
Definitely.
But then do you feel that a lot of kids who are wanting to get into football feel the need to represent themselves doing these sort of skills videos and things like that? Maybe it can be a distraction from the actual game itself. Fun to do.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily football. Yeah. The football game itself.
No.
It's one of the brackets of football, isn't it?
But players like that, there are players that have got through to top level who have been those players. Adel Taarabt would be the one that I would say, right? I watched Adel, like he would rather get a nutmeg than score a goal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think and he was doing that at the top level. Like he was playing for Tottenham and he moved on to QPR and then ended up at Benfica playing like a holding role. But he was a fantastic player, incredible player. But in training, everyone would go, he's the best player in training every day. But then on the Saturday, he wouldn't be.
It's mad how it works for some and not others. Have you seen about this player? I saw this story this week. Do you mind checking his name? I think it's Joe Taylor. And he's the number 9 for Ramsgate. And he's scored more goals per season than Ronaldo or Haaland. He's scoring like 50 goals a season in whatever league Ramsgate are in. But he's never moved up to any club. He's tipped to score 70 goals this season.
Are they not getting promoted?
How does he not move up after 70 goals? Surely he'd go, do you know what? We'll take 25 in the league above. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Surely. He's not going to just dry up. Surely.
I don't know, part of me thinks we should try call him up on this pod or something. Like there's a fascinating story there.
He scored 53 last season.
So hold on a minute. He
got 53.
I can't get over this. So if he's banging them goals in, have they got any defence?
They got promoted. 109 points.
Promoted.
Goals for plus 89.
So he got 75 of them.
But this Joe Taylor is unreal. I don't know. We should speak to him.
Well, look, they got promoted.
There's a story there.
So
all right, let's put it in the diary to speak to Joe Taylor. But you know what it reminds me of? Lee Trundle, right? Well, some of the goals he used to score, like you know, and this is Swansea, like lower league Swansea, not the Swansea more recent in the Premier League. No, he's playing League One, Championship? Yeah, really. Yeah, like some of the disability, the skills, the goals, the technique.
He was a serious player, wasn't he?
Deserved to play higher up, right? No, why did that not happen? I mean, you know, also he was happy where he was.
Yeah.
He loved
hang on, I think this is a major thing, isn't it? In that, you know, I think and I think it might be good that we speak to Joe Taylor. But I think this is what I sort of read or paraphrased from what he was talking about. Is that he's very happy. He's established it, like he's happy with the level. He's got another job which he's happy with. Yeah. And actually, how amazing is that with football that you're actually just content at a level, or even better, smashing it at the level you're in, but content at where you are. Doesn't mean you don't want your club to get promoted or anything, but you've reached a level where you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you.
I get it.
Do you know?
He's a legend.
I
He's
know
a
various.
legend of Rams
I know
games,
various
fella.
non-league players, right? That they get promoted, they go full time. That are earning more money being part time, and that is a serious thing because they've got a good job.
Yeah.
So they have to quit their job to go full time on less money. And they're like, well, so they're kind of them. Some of them are like, they don't want to get promoted, or if they do, they can't go up and be professional.
Also,
I see what you mean. You've either got to lose your job, go up, but then you can't have a risk of getting relegated. Like you maybe obviously if it's a training that you can keep it, but to have to risk your own
gamble.
job,
Risk your job, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
a
And
massive-
this is the conundrum that some of the kind of players in that scenario have.
yeah.
and also worth noting in them lower leagues, sometimes it's only the the number one position goes up, and the rest are in the playoffs. It's not 1 and 2. So if you don't get, I think in that league there, Ramsgate had 109 points, second had 101.
Yeah.
So
And they go to the
someone's
playoffs.
going for it.
Interesting.
Should we do another message?
Let's go.
All right, lads. As a Spurs fan, I get a lot of crap about Spurs being Spursy, but with the potential of them finishing third in a 2-horse race, do you think Arsenal are becoming just as Spursy, if not more, in recent years?
I do think there's an element of this.
Yes.
You know, like the fact that they were the closest to City, you know, kind of, and then Liverpool gone ahead of them, and they've kind of, when City, in the race where City dropped off this year, they've dropped off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think there's an element of it, to be honest.
Bang on.
In the Premier League, it's been an issue for them, isn't it? You think everything's geared up for them to win it, but they haven't yet.
They should have had it. They should have had it nailed on, shouldn't they? Second, really. They was cruising. I know, probably distracted with Champions League, with Liverpool being so far that they'd won the league already. But I think, I mean, and also, I don't know, is it me or is like Arteta just rubbing a few people up the wrong way as well? I mean, these post-match interviews, he's don't know. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean
getting
as
that?
well. I
think he's done brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of know him, and I feel like when I was at Liverpool, he was at Everton. I used to see him back quite a bit. He actually mates with Xabi Alonso, and various things. So I kind of knew him then, and like he's just such a ledge fella, like such a nice person, honestly.
Yeah.
I loved spending time with him, and then obviously as a manager, he has to kind of play the management role.
Yeah.
And I think he has to be maybe a different person to, what he would be at home. You know what I mean? Whereas what I know, and obviously he did his coaching badges where we did them since.
Yeah.
And, we know people that know him, and he always.
Oh,
but I do understand
definitely.
that thing, like he is with some of from his manner and the way he behaves sometimes.
Do you know
That
what
he
it
is
is?
rubbing people up the wrong way.
But it's just that post-match, which is the hardest interview to do. We've said about it again, and we on previous pods. It is the hardest interview to do as a manager because you are so emotional after a game, especially when you've lost or if you've drawn the game and you should have won. But I don't think he's got that one down to a T at the moment.
Also, I think, hasn't this been the reputation since the documentaries and the real look behind the curtain that they gave all football fans? So it feels like you get to see the project that was going on there, or this word, the project, that keeps getting used. So football fans are invested in a way that they've seen more behind the scenes than they probably have done with a lot of other football clubs, which probably, I would think, makes Arsenal a slightly bigger target for ridicule. If it's deemed to be that they're not keeping pace with the success that they were manifesting in those documentaries. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah, I get it.
And so sometimes I do join in on it, and sometimes I do join in on the kind of Arsenal fans will be unbearable if they win the Champions League. But I think this is a kind of narrative that's trotted out quite a lot in football because we've seen more of that club. We've seen more changes with that football club than potentially other clubs in a way that is like the song at the start and all this sort of things.
Yeah.
Very easy things to take the piss out of if needs be.
Yeah, I agree.
Fair enough.
I agree.
Okay, let's move it on. This is just wanted to get a message to Chris. I had sent on Instagram, but I have no idea whether it will reach him because he'll be bombarded with messages, obviously. If he does see it, I will probably look desperate, but that's my problem. Chris, I just wanted to message you to say thanks for sharing your story of your cancer diagnosis. Your sharing of the story had great timing for me. I listened to that episode of the pod in 2 weeks between my visit to my GP and waiting for my ultrasound appointment. Obviously, then I don't know what was coming, but I found out a couple of weeks ago that I have testicular cancer. Since listening to that episode, I was reassured that whatever the outcome, I was probably going to be okay. So thank you for helping me to gain that comfort. Fortunately, it hasn't gone wandering, and they had me in for an op imminently. So barring any disasters in the follow-up appointment, I should hopefully be back stronger in no time. Love your work. You, Crouchy and Sids, just get it right. Hope everything is still good with you after your experiences. Thank you very much. That's from Tom.
Yeah,
there we go.
Well, lovely
amazing.
message.
That is what it's all about, right there.
Yeah, amazing. And actually, we've had so many messages. I get so many messages from people who listened to that particular podcast, and it's got them either checking themselves or if they've known that there's something a little bit odd going on around there, but has been a bit embarrassed to go to the doctors or has just put it off. Sometimes you just put it off, don't you? You just go, you just put it in the back of your mind, like, sure, it'll be fine. They've been some of the most amazing messages that I've seen from people that have said that they've booked a doctor's appointment. So yeah, it's not easy talking about personal things, but you know, it was worth doing. And I think I really noticed it more talking about it on this podcast than anything else, really. Because, you know, there's a big community that listens to this, and I think it's great that people look out for each other and stick together. And on this kind of thing, you know, we'll continue to remind people to better check their balls, and you know, I think it's a good.
There you go.
It's a good message. So well done, and thank you so much for sending in that message.
Yeah, make sure you mic feel them.
Okay, message from Andy. Hi, Robot, Pancake and Marathon Man. Warmest regards to your family, friends and former teammates, the 3 Fs.
Beautiful, that.
Okay. Ambassador of Oklahoma, writing from the home of the #1 NBA team, Oklahoma City Thunder. We have a guy called
Chet Holmgren.
Chet Holmgren.
Chet.
He's 7'1", 207 pounds, or 14.78 stone, and he's really good.
Sounded like
I had to carry on.
sounded like
I had to double down.
Hulk Hogan. Stone Cold Stephen Austin. Stephen Sidwell.
Got me wondering how much basketball Crouchy played. I know the coaches were eyeing him up. Also, what Prem League players could you see in another sport? Obviously, Traore could play rugby. Could see Harry Maguire handing himself on a North America football field. Love the show from day one, and that is from Andy. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Other
interesting.
players. What players with sports?
Well, with regards to me, the basketball, I did play at school a little bit. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me at all.
It was easy for you. This is obviously.
I can dunk.
Yeah.
You know, like, people ask me that all the time. I can dunk, and that makes me look sexy on a basketball field. But my play, other than that, is pretty shit, really.
Yeah. Also, I just think your riz, you know, like your handshakes and things like that. I don't know if you've got it in basketball.
I think.
I don't know. I just think you're a bit more of a bit more like old school British chap.
Maybe I'm not cool enough for a b-ball
cool.
scene.
I can't say, but I just mean like, I don't know if you had to trot that out all day, every day. I'm not sure how you.
No,
feel.
I don't think it was not for me. If I'm honest. I love the game. I actually love watching it, and I've been to a few games in the US. I really like it.
Yeah.
It's my favourite of the American sports.
Yeah,
Out of basketball,
I agree.
American football.
Yep.
I would say basketball is my favourite.
Yeah.
But it's just not for me.
No.
Footballers and other sports.
Footballers and other sports. Milner was a cricketer. I could see him as a cricketer. Gareth Barry liked his cricket as well. I could see him as a cricketer.
Gareth Bale and golf.
Gareth Bale
and anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, rugby as well. I mean, he was. I think. I know his dad was a winger, rugby winger.
I think David Seaman and fishing
Yeah.
is just you could just see that being another.
But
level
like,
as well.
regardless of their talent, because he likes to fish.
Yeah.
Someone who just looks like they should
that's
be.
what I mean.
I'd say Wayne Rooney could be passed as a dart player. You could see Wazza. You could see Wazza with the shirt, the loud shirt, just walking down like he's 3 arrows just out of his pocket.
Yeah.
Just waddling down and just gets up there and bosh.
Yeah. Bangs them in. Like Adama Traore, I would like. I think 100 meters. You see him on the start line. I know it's obviously his pace is ridiculous, but could see him like at the Olympics.
Well, here's a current one. Eberici Eze, chess. Have you read that?
Well, he's a top chess player.
Played a 4-day competition, won £15,000.
Really?
Online. Did you hear that?
He does
Crystal
online
Palace.
chess?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that
Chess
one
player.
coming.
I didn't see that one.
Heider Helgeson, high jump.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable how high he got for it. He wasn't that tall. So you have to question then, could he have been good enough to have done that? For real sort of thing.
We've had this one, haven't we? Other players. Football interrupting there.
Who's the biggest leap you've seen?
Cristiano, I'd say.
Yeah.
Les Ferdinand.
Yeah. He had a leap on him.
Oh.
Les outrageous sleep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
But for a big guy as well.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He's only like 6 foot. 6'1". Like, I know it's tall, but like, he wasn't
I thought he was bigger than that.
Yeah, you'd say 6'5", 6'4", 6, just over 6 foot, right?
He could leap.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
He gives the impression of a big man, and he's a big man.
Yeah.
Okay, got one here. It says one ball hero. What's it? Crouchy from Bahrain. I don't know how you feel about this. I mean, are you happy with this? Or?
No, I think it's meant with love and respect.
Yeah. What about what's it?
No, I don't know if there's love and respect there, isn't it?
What's it?
And for God knows why I'm crouching from Bahrain. I've completely forgot now, but it's just gone on for so long. Anyway, a while ago, you read my message out regarding losing the dressing room when I compared it to teachers losing the classroom. Well, I'd like to use this comparison again. My current class have their big end-of-year SATs coming up in under 2 weeks. Stress levels are high in the camp for both players and managers. The Gerrards, the Henrys, the Zidanes, they know what they've got. They know what it takes to succeed. They just need to keep calm. The Rooneys, the Wilshires, the Grealishes know that they're more than capable of doing well, but occasionally need a reminder to focus on the prize and leave the partying to after the big game. However, it's the Balotellis, it's the Joey Bartons and the Vinnie Jones who need a real wake-up call. They're acting as if the game's already been won before a ball's been kicked, when really they're the ones who need to be focused on trailing and the right preparation for the task ahead. I come to you as managers of this team to ask for a message of motivation for these players, students. My class is 6H, and I'd love it if you'd be able to provide a motivational speech for them to get their heads down for the next few weeks before their SATs. And the fun and partying will be worth the hard work. It'd be great if you could include some examples from your careers when you've had to stay focused on the task ahead and block out the background noise, as the boys in my class are massive football fans. Much appreciated. Oh, and my mate is going to the Samrat for his birthday next week. Any recommendations for him? Cheers, loving the pod. Well, what I say, obviously, I always have the Madras in there. They do a lovely little tikka starter. Obviously a big fan like the keema naan or a garlic naan, but the signature move, what I'm going to say, is the Irish coffee to finish. Absolutely. It's a red hot Irish coffee with a lovely cold creamy head, and a little bit of a sweetener at the bottom.
I'd say the Bargy starters enough for two. Sharing two adult men.
Yeah, definitely. And make sure you... 2 adult men. So you're going to share 2 adult men after? Or?
And my only other recommendation is don't ask for a free pint. Rightly so.
So, sorry, a motivational speech.
So this is the SATs,
I
right,
happened to
or
see
SAT,
a motivational speech on the weekend.
Oh, right. Yeah. I
From
gave
yourself?
Yeah, I gave the
this?
lads a team talk for the game.
Was this for the charity match you were saying?
Yeah, it became quite apparent that Ray didn't want to do anything.
Surely he should have done the speech.
Well, actually,
right?
he's brilliant at it. So I thought.
We just
I think
didn't
he's-
fancy it.
I
Did
think
they?
He's just having
Yeah,
a jar.
to
He's
step
having a beer. That was all good. It was yeah. But
It was
I
good.
gave
Went down well.
Yeah, it went down well.
Went down really well.
Yeah, I did go
I
down.
liked it. I enjoyed it.
Do you want to throw something out towards it?
So what is this? This is
The
a
SATs.
this is a motivational speech to.
Some lads aren't taking it too seriously.
It's more like he just wants just the last few weeks. He just wants to remind everyone to focus.
Mm.
No,
You know
there's
it
a,
is,
there's a
right?
goal at the end here,
Yeah.
and then the good times roll.
Yeah.
It's that sort of.
Yeah.
Listen
End of
up,
season
guys.
is here.
Listen up. It's the last push now. You know, there's plenty of partying to be had after this. You just get your head down. You work hard. You know, ignore all the outside influence. And there's loads of pressure. You know, social media today and the amount of pressure these kids are under. You know, don't just get yourself in your own bubble with your own teammates and relax and concentrate on the job in hand. Get the job done. There's plenty of time for fun afterwards, isn't there, Sids? You know, they're going to have the summer of their lives.
Well, it sounds like you've got a great manager there.
Great
Listen
manager.
to your manager. As you say, block out that outside noise. You together can create something special. You could be a year to be remembered if you do this right.
You know the teammates and all that, Sid. So you have your teammates, your class. You think you're going to be mates with them forever. You're worried about what they think. You know, whether you should be out with them or not. You might not even see them in a couple of years. Get your head down, work hard, get your SATs done, get your results. You can have a crack with them later.
Yeah, exactly. And do you know what? Play this right. In a few years' time, you might pass one in a bar or something, and you'll go past them and you'll recognise that fella and you'll say, me and you, we were together at school in that year where you nailed the SATs, and you'll both raise a glass of lovely Cognac to each other.
What
was it? What was it?
Cognac.
I think it's a mixture of cognac and Cavossier there.
Oh, Cavossier. That was it. What's the other one? Cough
Should have
medicine.
stayed in your SAT, shouldn't you?
Good luck with the SATs.
Right, lads, if you don't mind, I'm going to finish on an 11.
Yep.
It's a sandwich 11 because obviously at some stage we still need to do
We
on the
will.
Friday pod. We need
Yeah.
to bring in a sandwich from our respective wives and see who the winner is.
Yep.
Okay, so it's a sandwich 11. It's inspired me to A, make one to eat, and B, send an 11 in.
Oh, his sandwiches could be the new loads.
Do you know what's amazing is that we're inspiring people to not only make sandwiches, but send a sandwich 11 in.
Yeah.
What a lovely moment. What's Jordan Branston pickle for Ruben Diaz?
That's good.
Got Hammy Hoopier, John Sarney Risa, Post Salad, got Frank Hampard, Casameo, Roy Cheese and Bean, Cheese Sidwell,
Okay.
Sidwell,
Yeah.
Nicky Butty,
Yep.
Alex Footlong Chamberlain, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and the manager is Sani
Sani
Slot.
Slot.
That's from Jay.
Lovely, Jay.
Well done, Jay.
All right.
Very good.
Well, cheers, Jay. He always enjoyed those messages, episodes, lads. Thanks for sharing it.
Oh, it's good.
Just raise a glass. I'd like to raise a glass of cognac.
You didn't look me in the eye.
Oh, I did
Oh, you didn't look me in the eye either.
Don't worry about it. I've been shit for years.